Hey everybody, welcome to episode 6 of IFS in Black. We're back again. This time with Victoria Leftridge. She's a graduate of Spelman College. She's currently in the Bay, and she's a therapist there. And so this is her very first experience being the client in the IFS setting. And so we're going to be able to witness, I think, something pretty interesting taking place. So she was curious about the model and wanted to check it out for herself. And so she actually came to do the demo by attending one of our panels that we had on Facebook over the summer. And so I set out to suggest if anybody watching would like to be part of our demos, feel free to reach out to us. You can hit us up. Oh yeah, smash the like button and subscribe and tell your friends and your family and your mama too. Without further ado, we're just gonna go right into the demo. We'll see you next time and tap in. Just take a sense of how your body's feeling. You can do a quick body scan or just maybe take a moment to see what kind of emotions are popping up. Just get a sense of what's coming to the surface.
Yeah. I definitely think I'm a little antsy.
That's good.
I got some stuff going on today.
Okay.
The rest of my body actually feels pretty good, considering it did not this morning.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's just a little bit of tension. I think a little bit of antsiness.
Fair enough. So I'm hearing 2, maybe 3 things. So you got some antsiness, this tension, right? And then you said there was maybe one other thing that's kind of popping up. I just want to make sure that I'm giving room to everything that's coming up for you.
No, I think that's it.
Okay, perfect. So out of those things, which one do you want to focus on?
I guess maybe the antsiness.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you can, just kind of feel into the antsiness, right? As a matter of fact, before you even go there, is it okay to sit with the antsiness?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So just now I just want to invite you to maybe kind of find out where it is and just kind of feel into it.
It's definitely in my hands.
Okay.
It's in all the extremities I need to move.
So
like my leg, calf muscles, my feet, and just my hands.
Okay. And then is any kind of, kind of message that comes with it, or just kind of an urge or impulse that follows?
Yes. I always have the urge to be doing something. It's very hard for me to be still and focused in on, especially on myself. There's always the urge of this constant to-do list that's always in the head. So that's what that is. That's easily what that is.
Okay. The to-do list. All right. So it sounds like you know this to-do list. You've met this to-do list before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I guess my first question is, or my next question, right? How do you feel about this to-do list?
We have a love-hate relationship.
That's real.
It's it feels a lot of times like never ending.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
But also things do get crossed off on occasion, and that feels good. It feels like I'm actually making progress and being productive. Right.
So what role do you think that this to-do list kind of plays, right, in your body?
What role? It's a good question. I think it has a dual function.
Mm-hmm.
I think it definitely makes me feel a little bit more in control when things are on it, because then they're not in my head as much.
Right.
And the other way, it also keeps me going, which can be a good and a bad thing.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Does it make sense to want to have that kind of control and to keep you going like that?
I don't know what the other option would be.
That's just totally fair. But if it does make sense, right, to have to have, these kinds of feelings attached to that, right? But I just want to take a quick opportunity to maybe invite you to let that part know that, like, it does make sense for you to do this or play this role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
I think if I didn't have the to-do list, then nothing would probably get done.
Wow.
That may not be a bad thing, though.
No, okay.
Because that also means that I would probably have more time to be a little bit more relaxed. And a little bit more present in my day-to-day.
Okay. So is that something that maybe you in this to-do list part kind of maybe need to have a conversation about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So would it be good then to maybe to kind of see what it's what it's afraid of, maybe, or even kind of ask the question in terms of just kind of wondering maybe if there's I don't know, maybe I don't say it like a contract almost, but like these binding words. But I'm wondering about what are ways that you all can maybe work together, right? That would allow for it to keep you on task while also knowing when it might be a good time to allow you to be more present and to relax a little bit.
I don't really know. Like specific times that I would be able to put it down, or like what does it need to be put down?
Maybe the latter, right? Like maybe what does it need to feel like it could maybe trust you, right? To relax now. You know what I mean? Or maybe to be able to feel like it doesn't have to be kind of always doing something.
I just heard it. It was very unrealistic. It was like to get it done. Like that's not. But it's also never ending, so there is no done to it really. Yeah. What else could be in there that I would need to like be able to put it down and relax? Yeah, I don't know per se.
Okay, and that's fine. I'm wondering if what it means by done is what you mean by done.
Yeah, I think those are two different things.
Okay.
In my head, done is kind of, well, as I guess my center part, done is kind of like what just needs to be done today.
Yeah.
Or this month or this week, right? Like it's in increments. And I think that particular part is like everything has to be done.
Okay.
Everything, even the things that you need to do that are on your October list, need to be done right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So I mean, but I guess I'm also wondering, like, wouldn't it feel good if all that stuff was done too?
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So and so even though it does feel a bit like hard to do, I'm wondering if you could maybe tell that part that you at least kind of get where it's coming from.
Yeah, no, I definitely get where it's coming from.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
How did it respond when it heard you say that?
Finally?
Okay. Okay. Is there more that it wants to say?
No, it kind of feels a little bit more relaxed.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of feels a little bit more relaxed.
That's good. It's a good space to be in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you think it'd be okay if we spend a few minutes with this part while it's relaxed?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Where is there? Let me. Is there a place that this part maybe reminds you of in its relaxed state, or does this part maybe sound different when it's relaxed, or is there like a scene, like a venue that you feel like this part would kind of that's kind of representative of its relaxed state right now?
I don't know if there's something that represents its relaxed state as much as it doesn't feel like a fight anymore.
Yeah.
Like maybe I didn't realize that me and this part were in an active fight for kind of control.
Mm.
And it feels like it's kind of like sitting down.
Okay. Okay. Where are you in relationship to this part right now? Is it still in your hands, or is it like close to you, or you think you're far away from it?
It's not in the hands anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of feels settled in the chest.
Mm-hmm.
Like very, but settled, not
Yeah.
not like a bad thing.
No, that sounds like a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it settled almost sounds like it's cozy, or like it's about ready to go to bed a little bit. You know what I mean? Something just like where your shoulders get to drop a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So just take a moment to feel into that, and just what it's like to be in communion with this part in this way.
Yeah. It's kind of nice. Like I actually feel the tension like going away from the parts that want to let go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is I wonder if there's anything this part anything else this part wants to say to you, right? Even kind of while we're here right now.
No, I just think I wanted to be acknowledged that it was important.
Mm-hmm. Did so tell me if I'm wrong. Saying that it's important maybe it's a little bit different than what you said before in terms of like it making sense. So I'm just curious if you told that part that it's important.
Probably not. I think we've been engaged for a fight in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
So it definitely, yeah, it is important. It keeps the tempo going.
Mm-hmm. That sounds a lot different than the kind of how you described it before. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How does it feel knowing that it's important to you and that you kind of recognize this job in terms of what it does?
I think it really feels like it can take a step back and like kind of chill out a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a good place to be. So while it's kind of feeling that, I'm wondering, is there anything like another role it would like to have while it's stepping back? Like, does it want to go relax? Like, does it want to go play at the park? What is it? What does it want to do?
Yeah. I think it definitely wants to sit and like kind of be present instead of running the body and the brain. How did I don't like the way that came out. Like it feels like a train most of the time, and I think it kind of like wants to sit at the station for a little bit, and just be able to cool down.
Right. No, that's important. Okay.
Not at the park per se, but I have a vacation planned next week.
Okay.
And I think maybe allowing me to actually enjoy said vacation.
Yeah.
Instead of us running ragged, trying to get everything done, and then spending most of the vacation thinking about the things that we could have been doing while we're on vacation.
Right. That sounds like a big deal. That sounds like a big deal. Okay. Wow.
And also to acknowledge that it has taken breaks, but they've been very short, in my opinion. So like 3-4 hours max type breaks.
I'm wondering if this part trusts you to either determine like the length of breaks, or it trusts you to like when it trusts you to determine when to pull out the station versus when to go into the station to cool off.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. No, and I'm glad it's honest, right? Yeah. Okay. And I imagine, right, that trust can definitely build and get stronger over time. I'm also wondering, right, like what might this part need to be able to trust you in that way?
I guess reassurance that I can do both, like both be productive and relax. Now that I think about this part a little bit more, like it feels like this is the productive part and I am the relaxed part. And like we've been playing in opposition for so long instead of being able to be okay with doing both.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I wouldn't have to be the just only relaxed part if they would let me relax and I could be both.
Yeah. Well, how did that land on that part, saying that out loud?
It definitely hears it.
Okay.
That's how I feel like that part is like it's very, it was like, okay, heard. Like
Yeah, not as real.
What does that mean? I don't know. But heard. Okay. Heard.
Yeah. Like, nah, he's like, all right, I got you. That sounds like a great idea. Okay. And so then I guess I'm curious if there are things that you could do in the meantime to show this part, right, that you can do both.
There's definitely some reluctance on my part But I
Okay.
definitely think that part of it is that, and this is something I've been saying to myself for a while, I do need a little bit more structure. And I should put some of that in place and have a little bit more follow through.
Okay.
I think that that would be helpful to be able to have a little bit more follow through.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I guess this part has kind of been out of control since I stopped working for someone else, for real.
Yeah.
Because there's not these kind of rigid structures in place anymore. Like, there are structures, but it's not as rigid as it was. So I wasn't as driving and productive as I was. And maybe that's also part of, like, being able to move past, for me, the burnout. Because being so productive, that burned myself out and I just didn't want to do anything. So the part kind of has taken control since then. So being able, I guess, to ease back out of that space and move more into a little bit more discipline and structure may help.
Okay. So so the reluctance that you described in the beginning, is this still present, or does what you just laid out, like, all right, that sounds either doable, but also does it, like, I get that. Do you get that? Or
No, it does. It sounds doable. It sounds doable. I don't think my part believes me, but also I think that the reluctance is, I guess, in the follow through and making sure it's not me. It's almost like there's another part there that's like reluctant. Like,
yeah.
but if you don't feel like it, don't do it.
And I didn't want to necessarily move on to that next. Like, I was getting a sense of that, but I didn't want to, like, move direct, like, too fast to the next one. But I guess I'm going to ask, is it okay to maybe spend some time with that reluctant part, really, for the next few minutes? Okay. So let's see if we can locate this reluctant part. Sound like you know exactly what it is.
Yeah. Me and this part have a very long-term relationship.
Okay.
It is, it's the part of me that definitely drives vacations. It's also the part that kind of it's the burnout part. The part is like the part that probably used to really in real life, like, work hard, play hard. But it's now like, we've worked hard enough. Like, it's time for us to be playing, and I don't understand why we're not playing.
I see that. Okay. Does it show up somewhere in particular, or is that just like this kind of reverberating message that's like everywhere?
It kind of makes me sad, and I don't know why. Yeah. It definitely kind of makes me sad, and I actually really don't know why. It might also be like sadness, because I honestly think that maybe the part is a little angry.
Okay.
That we're not playing enough. And that the other part has been running the show, because we also need to survive.
Right. No, that's real. That's a real thing. It sounds a little heavy, and so I'm wondering, do you understand where it's coming from? You feel like you kind of get that?
I don't know why it's so heavy. This is the time when I would probably dismiss it a little bit and be like, this is just pregnancy hormones. I'm not so sure that's the case, but
fair enough.
I'd be like, you're heavy for no reason. Like, let it go. So that's probably also why it's mad, because I'm kind of dismissive of that, of honoring that piece of me that is really upset that we work very, very hard.
Yeah.
And don't play hard enough for what they like.
Right. Yeah. How do you feel about that part of you now?
I think we definitely need to probably spend a little bit more time together.
Yeah.
I think I also feel a little guilty that I've been ignoring it.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely feel a little guilty that I've been ignoring it.
Yeah. Yeah. How is this part responding to what you're saying?
It's starting to definitely calm down. I think it's the guilt that calmed it down, because when I was just describing it being like angry and sad and like kind of like that part, it was really like hyped up. But now it's like kind of chilling out. Like, yeah, you should. Like, I'm glad that you have some feelings and like you're not ignoring me.
Yeah. Yeah. Does this part sound like anybody? Look like anybody? Is it you from a different time?
It's definitely like my younger self throwing a tantrum. It's definitely my younger self throwing a tantrum.
Okay.
I don't really know how young. It actually feels a little bit like one of my high school selves. Which is interesting, because I think I would think in my head that would go younger or older, but maybe my like younger high school, like 15, 14-year-old self.
Yeah. Is she at school, at home, is anywhere in particular?
No, she's definitely at school.
Definitely at school. Okay.
She's definitely at school. I was very active as a teenager. I was in everything. And in all the classes, even the ones I didn't want to be in.
Yeah. Okay. And so I wonder, is she having a good time, or is she really just kind of like talking to you from like where she is?
She's talking to me from where she is, but she's also showing me other places where she shows up in my adulthood, which is really interesting, because I was literally having this conversation with my significant other this week about like the internal tantrums I throw every summer about having to work. But I'd rather be outside.
Right.
And that's definitely her. Like,
yeah.
Especially when I actually like, and this, I guess, kind of goes back to that, but like when I think about when I was working for an agency and really did have all that structure and all those things, and was trying to be productive and also manage a whole nother like real estate business at the same time, and like a private practice, it's way entirely too much. And like I would go into the office and like I could see that part like really coming up and being like, why am I here? This is a waste of my time. Right. It's a sunny summer afternoon. Go get ice cream. You have to go to work and sit here and be swamped with everything because all your colleagues are out of the office. And like that scream, itchy feeling is It's almost like you want to like get outside of your body. It's definitely her.
Okay. Okay. And so,
I thought it was just a me experience. I talked to other people, and they also had this experience. So then I was like, "Oh, okay, this is a norm." Like,
yeah, no, 100%. Okay. And so I guess I'm wondering, like, what wisdom is she sharing with you then? Like, what is? And you don't have to say it out loud, but I'm just wondering, like, what are you coming away with, like, from kind of meeting her and recognizing that it's her? Like, what is she telling you?
it's something about doing stuff. It's something about doing stuff because you're supposed to do them, and not necessarily because you want to do them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an expectation, responsibility thing that is being kind of rebelled against in a way, and maybe figuring out how to incorporate or how to move in a way that isn't because of others' expectations and like what you're supposed to do.
Does that make sense? What she's saying? Yeah. I would say just let her know that. Right? Let her know.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. It definitely makes sense. When I think about the times where she surfaces, it's because I have this kind of like duty to do these things, and not necessarily because I'm moving into them out of like good space.
Yeah. And so I'm wondering then, what is she afraid of then? Might happen. If she didn't show up, like what's she afraid of?
The life would be all duty and no fun. Like there would be like no joy.
That's a legit thing to be concerned about.
It's so legit.
Yeah.
Which is in alignment with my concerns. Like I do have concerns about that and like how to increase more joy. It does not feel like it's in alignment with the necessarily productive part.
Nah. And it's
I don't
good
think
that she
it's
brought
against
this.
though either.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of adjacent.
And I think it's good you brought the productive part up, because I'm curious with the productive part stepping into the bag. I'm wondering how it's been perceiving, right? Learning more about your high school self and everything she's had to say so far.
My productive part is an inner cynic and a little bit of a critic. So it's kind of like, I mean, that's nice, but we got to survive. Like,
yeah.
You know?
That's real.
I think it might be understanding that they're not necessarily in opposition, but that they're adjacent.
Yeah.
And that both parts are kind of needed. But I still definitely can see that the productive part thinks that it's more important.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look at it like it's less than anymore. So I think that that's a change.
Okay. Progress.
Right. That's a little progress there.
Okay. So I'm wondering, maybe the last thing we'll do today is just maybe ask the question of like, what is it? Maybe you can ask either part or the younger version self or the productive part, with either combination, right? Like what oh, let's try this. They're hearing each other, but I'm wondering have they hung out together yet? Like, have they ever tried to share the same space?
No.
You sound like there's another part that's reluctant to meet for them to meet.
No. Like, it's not that, but it's just they've never been held in the same space.
Okay.
Unless it's like in opposition.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like the productive part comes over and it's like, shut up. We got things to do. Like,
right. That does happen sometimes. I'm wondering if you could invite them two in the same space and kind of see what happens.
Okay. Yeah. It feels very much like I'm mediating, like we can work together. One doesn't have to exist without the other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're both equally important. It's not a fight, but it's definitely not friends.
Okay. No. Okay. I'm wondering, right, as we are kind of starting to wrap things up, if there might be a commitment for the three of you, right, to kind of spend some time together more regularly and see if that relationship can build into something, right, a bit more than what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Most definitely.
Awesome. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's part of the structure that I want to create, is like more space for myself. So I guess that hits both goals.
Okay. Good stuff. Well, I guess at this point, this might be a good time to maybe just thank all of the parts that showed up, right? Just for coming to hang out with us.
Yeah. I guess, yeah. Thank you to the parts for showing up and surprising me.
Yeah. No, and thank you for letting them come into play today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.